Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
It's a new year. Everyone's out there. I was at the gym this morning. There's some new people in the gym, which is great. Sometimes people, the gym rats, they'll give people a bad rap. Oh, got the new people in the gym. They're making New Year's resolutions. Oh, they won't last. I look at those type of people and I say, you know what? Good. You're doing something. You're doing that one thing better. And that's awesome. So we should celebrate those type of people instead of discouraging them or giving them a weird eyeball in anything new that they're trying. So let's be encouraging to those people around us that are trying to do something new, trying to be something better, trying to improve themselves. Like we've said before, over and over again, many coaches I've had and people that have been in my life, we are the author of our own stories. And if we teach ourselves to respond certain ways when certain things happen, then that's exactly how we'll continue to respond and continue to react and so on. So this week, the previous week, we were able to meet most of our team. We had them sign new employment agreements because now they're employed by another LLC. Just rolled out a few things. Because when you're acquiring a new business, they don't know you. They think you as the owner is going to come in and just change everything, and they're scared. They're worried. Especially the leaders of the business. They're worried that you're going to replace them and they're not going to be needed, or so on. The stories that they're telling themselves are real, and they're desperate at that time. So you've got to help them feel secure in their situation and in their place. So that's huge. Those people that you're depending on to lead and help lead that organization, you got to help them feel secure even before the takeover happens. I just started coaching my son's flag football team. And I love this time of year. I love it as it's getting warmer. Many of you are probably helping some of your kids and help coach in some of their sports, baseball, track, whatever it is. But you get to be around these young adults, and some are young adults, some are still just kids. My boy's a fourth grader right now, and we're in football practice. It's just flag football right now, and we're practicing flag pulling. Some of the kids we know because they've been on our team for a few years. Some kids are new. So we're pulling flags, doing some drills. And we had a few kids, after not being able to pull a flag for the first couple of flags, as the people ran past them, they start, oh, I'm so dumb, I'm stupid. Gosh, I'm the worst. And I'm like, hold on, stop. And I said, no. I said, everyone stop. We need to talk about something real quick. On this team, there's a few rules. Number one, we always speak positive to our teammates and about ourselves. And I got to thinking about that. And as kids, there's and as adults and teenagers, there's so much negativity out in the world. You post something on the internet, me doing on this podcast, there's so many things that, people could post, and they do post, that you could go home and just cry about all day. Who cares, but there's so much negative in the world. So for these football players, these boys, if they are being hard on themselves and thinking, oh, I'm so dumb, I'm so stupid, and having those negative thoughts inside themselves, how more likely is it that they're going to miss that following flag to pull? how more likely is it that they're going to miss that following catch they need to make, or that pass they need to complete? It's more likely, because then they have so much more pressure on them, because the negativity that they're pushing on themselves, instead of saying, you know what, no big deal. I'm going to keep practicing hard, and I'm going to get it. I'm going to make this thing happen, though. And I started thinking, man, we all are like that. If you think about throughout your day, and as you're working on a computer, I still catch myself doing this. Oh, you moron. And I do it in more of a, fun, jest way, like, oh, I'm a complete moron, still there's an air of truth there that your mind is going to believe and your body's going to believe. It's so much more important to say, you know what, take it, messed up, not a big deal. I'm going to kill it next time. I'm going to dominate. At the beginning of every month, you need to be talking to your bookkeeper. And if you're your own bookkeeper at this point, and you've been in business for more than 3 years, and you've got employees and stuff like that, get yourself off the bookkeeping. It's you're gonna generate so much more revenue with the time you're not bookkeeping. And you're gonna say, I know you're gonna say, oh, Spencer, I'm only matching a few things. I'm only just categorizing a couple things. It's still a couple hours a month that you could have towards other finding efforts or managing efforts or whatever. Being creative to bring revenue into your company, or being just more insightful of how to push your company forward. So do that. So hire a bookkeeper. Tell them that you need your books reconciled by the 5th of every month. Now, by doing this, you're going to have to answer questions that they have. Like, hey, if you're using QuickBooks Online, they're going to have a category that says "Ask my accountant" or "Ask your accountant." You need to answer those questions. Like, hey, what does this need to be classified under? What is this expense? What is this? Help her with that, or help him with that, so they can help you. Because if you're not helping them, how can they reconcile your books? So make it due by the 5th of every month. And if you have a partner in your business or whatever it is, or your general manager, you sit down on the 5th every month, and you sit down and you pull out that profit and loss statement. I always like to pull it out, and you run it just for that, the month, the last month. So last month was April 1 to April, was it 30 or 31? I can't remember. And I like to turn on the percentage of income tab. So it breaks down my different categories by percentage of income. So I'm a big percentage person. I like to see things, trends going up. Obviously, I like to see revenue going up and, net operating income going up, but I need to make sure my percentages are dialed in. And if they're not, I know straight away something's up. So this is a good routine for you and your management team, your partner, to go through every month. And this is how people or organizations, this is how embezzling starts, or racketeering, is by people not paying attention to the numbers and diving deep and asking questions of like, hey, why is this category so much this month? Why is professional development so much? Why is professional services? What's the difference between professional services and professional development? Okay. And then talk to your accountant, talk to your bookkeeper. Hey, it's hard to find good people to hire. The workforce is different than it used to be, yada, yada, yada. And to an extent, yes, it's true. So let's talk about, I'm not the professional here to be talking about this, but I want to talk about, our children a little bit today. I know this is a business podcast, but who's going to be running these businesses in the future? It's our kids. I tell my kids all the time, because I see, people that are in the job force, some people we hire, people that don't work out. And I see the best and I see the worst, I feel like, within our companies and throughout, even outside of our companies. I see the best and I see the worst. I see people that I'm like, man, I wish I could have someone like that working for me. And then I see other people that I'm like, my goodness, not just how they, obviously not how they look, but just how they're performing at their job. You can see it in the car washes. You can see it in the as your waiter or waitress. You can see it everywhere. And I tell my kids over and over again, if you can just learn to do hard things, you are going to be, so much further ahead than the rest of the kids around you as you get older. Because the generation right now, it's like when things get hard, they want to bolt, or they find an easier way to do it, which is good too. If there's an easier way to do it, great. That's what automation's about, AI, all that fun stuff, great. But still, I feel like you need to have the perseverance within you to be able to stay and get a project done when it needs to get done, and not be there to complain. So I feel like there's some steps. I was looking at different articles, and there's an article on motherly that I wanted to talk about today. And point one of this is, helping your kids do hard things is let them fail. It's easy for us to be like, hey, let's make things as smooth as we possibly can for our kids. Let's not let them experience what we experienced as children. Okay, number one, what are you saying there, and what are you doing there by saying those things? Like, that's, if you think about it, it's crazy talk what you're saying, because what you experience, and I'm not talking about any kind of childhood drama or childhood trauma. I'm talking about, when it comes to persevering, or maybe you had a strong-willed grandfather or a mother or a father that made you do hard things, and maybe you didn't like it, but maybe, just maybe, it turned you into who you are today, that hopefully you're successful. I remember back when I was a child, I grew up in a small farm town, hoeing beets. That's not even a job now, because technology has eliminated that job. But I remember, I was 14, 15 years old, my first jobs, and being dropped off in the middle of a field with a bunch of other, kids my age, and said, okay, you gotta hoe and de-weed X amount of fields before you leave. And I'm like, holy smokes, okay, this is interesting. And you learn real quick, okay, this is what we got to do. This is what we have to accomplish. And, you could sit there and not do anything and not get paid because you got paid by the road, or you could get to work. And when you had other people around you, especially some cute girls that are working with you, you didn't want to be that. You don't want to be that person that, was lazy. Take a breath, look around you, and find what you're really grateful for. Sometimes I think we get caught up too many times, and we're thinking what we're going without or what we don't have. And too many times we got to realize what is going right in our lives. We might not have this or that, or the nicest this, or the latest that, but do your kids have food on the table? Do you have your wife, your loved ones have shelter over their heads? You gotta be grateful for the things that you are grateful for. Are you enjoying health in your home? And a lot of times, guys, I have to do this for myself, because we get caught up in, okay, did we hit the objectives for last quarter? And if we didn't, are we taking it upon ourselves? Like, are we beating ourselves for that? I do that. I kind of go hard on myself. Like, okay, why did this not happen for me or for my companies? So how do we double down? But it's all about finding balance. It's all about finding balance in your life so that you can enjoy the here and now and still hustle. Because if you're not here enjoying the here and now, enjoying the whole process of life, that's where people get entangled with, these hateful feelings and these not so good of feelings for themselves. And they're not able to enjoy their lives. And I've been there. I've done that. I've not enjoyed certain realms of business ownership, and it's not fun. When you go home and you take your work home with you, and sometimes you feel like you're taking it out on your kids and your family, and you're like, well, that's not fair because they don't deserve that. I should be able to leave this at the door and be like, you know what? I'm over worrying about things. I just read a stat that they said 85% of the things we worry about don't ever come to fruition at all anyways. Preparing for your upcoming day the day before. I've always said that, don't prepare to prepare. An ex-business partner of mine always said that to me, and get frustrated when he said it then. But now I get it. I get it. You want to get to your office fully ready and fully charged, and have a list, knowing what you're needing to accomplish, or your time tracker put together. Like, okay, when 9 o'clock hits, I'm at my desk and I know I'm doing this and this for this next half an hour. And then this next hour after that, I'm doing this and this. You're dialed in. And that's kind of how you push yourself. And that's how you kind of get to that next level, is by developing those type of habits. There's nothing worse. I've experienced this because I've done this, is by getting to work, especially on Monday, because on Friday, you just want to do nothing. You don't want to have anything, a care in the world, if you don't have much going on that Friday. And this last Friday was like that. Wife was out of town. I had, I was helping my kids with some sports and all that kind of stuff. And I enjoyed myself. But at the same time, I didn't prepare for Monday as good as I should have. So I get here on a Monday, and I know kind of what I need to do for the day, but I should have had a better outline. So I'm hitting the office. I know exactly what I need to do, and I'm rocking and rolling. And one thing I like to do, and you get a lot from these business leaders, these big hitters in the industry, you learn from them, is that find something every day that pushes you. Find something every day that drives you and is something hard for you to do, because you want to do something that's going to push you out of your comfort zone. Many times, and as you're a business leader or a business owner, things don't go your way. Maybe it's a big bid that you have out. Maybe you're like, holy smokes, if I could just close this before the end of the year, get this, commitment behind this bid, this would be a great way to close the year. And we've lost some other things throughout the year, and you're putting pressure on yourself that I really need this to really push it. I would say, first of all, let's take a step back and go to a little side note section here. Those of you who are tracking your business efforts have a better finger on the pulse of what's actually happening in your business than those who do not. And I'm talking to me too, because I like to track, I like to do this kind of stuff, but I get lazy. So if you're lazy like I am, you got to find someone that can help track things for you. So what am I getting at? What is Spencer getting at as he's talking about all this tracking nonsense? I'm talking about when the days come and you're feeling like, oh my goodness, gosh dang it, I missed out on that bid, or I lost this customer, or this something happened that I didn't get this job. You can get real down on yourself, and you can get real frustrated, and you can think, oh crap, my whole world is crashing in. My income's not going to grow. My dog's not going to like me. Why? My wife's going to leave me. You can be literally your worst enemy. My kids are going to kick me, where the sun don't shine, because I can't buy them that toy, for Christmas. You can go down such a rabbit hole if you let your brain take you there. But if you're doing this tracking, you can literally think, you can get into that mindset quickly, and you can think, okay. Is it really that bad? Okay, no, it's not. Let's go to my tracking. Okay, no, my revenue's fine. Okay. Unless you all of a sudden got a big job and you went out and bought a Ferrari, and it totally changed your life, it's not going to matter for you to lose that said job. Yeah, none of us want to lose business. None of us want to lose income, but it's the part of doing business. It's part of life. Things happen. We're not perfect in our businesses. Things are destined to happen. We don't hire perfect people. We are not perfect. You got to be focused more on when it comes to business, your systems, your people, your culture. And then when it comes to your family, spending time with them. I've been guilty lately of coming home, being tired. Mentally, I'm just drained. Turn on the TV and just chill. Yeah, hang out with my kids a little bit. But I'm like, you know what? I could be doing so much more with them. I could be playing basketball with them. I could be, dancing around with my daughters. I want to spend more time with them and building more core values with them. So let's focus more on what's important in our lives. And find the joy that we should be having if we're not having it right now.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.